We're going live, dude.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing.
Just type it to me in the chat if it's not something that would be good for you to be public. Welcome to the Practical Pistol Show. My name's Ben. We're here to answer shooting questions. Mr. Heron's on deck.
Hey, guys.
Mr. Hopkins.
Hi.
Also here. All right. Hopkins, is it pertinent to this show? Just type it to me.
No, it's not.
Okay, never mind then. All right. Before we get to the questions, which is what everybody comes for anyway, we are going to talk about awards. Guys, you good with me setting this topic up?
Yeah.
I am, yeah.
All right. So there was recently an area match. By the time people hear this, this will have been a couple weeks past. Based on some of the developments, I imagine there'll be more news in between when we recorded this and when it drops. But there was recently an area match where they did not hand out awards to the people that won the divisions. I think awards only based on class and category.
Yeah,
that's right.
From what I take on it, that's exactly what was happening.
So I heard about this because I know two of the division winners personally, and I was kind of like, what? That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, so the division winners then won their class, of course, and they got a, first M class, first B class, first whatever the hell it was. They got a trophy for winning a class, but it didn't hand out awards for people based on winning a division, which sounded crazy to me. Hopkins, I called you and told you about this as well, didn't I?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Well, you didn't believe me, did you?
No, I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
You did not believe... No, tell the truth. You did not believe me when I told this to you.
No, not at all.
You did not believe me.
No.
So this teed up, of course, a Duty Project thread, which was... Let me read this. So, at Area 1 this weekend, the staff did an amazing job. This is by no means a knock on them whatsoever. Blah, blah, blah. Let's skip this. This is bullshit. It is kind of a knock on the staff, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to knock the staff, but let me knock the staff a little bit.
I wouldn't say it's the staff. I'd say it's...
just certain people in the staff?
I wouldn't say it's the ROs.
No, he's not. I don't think he's knocking the ROs, but he is knocking staff. Anyway... They awarded according to USPSA rules and gave out awards based on class and division participation. As such, minimum of 3 people in a class and division to get a plaque. If they're... I don't understand his shit here. Anyways, let me cut to the quick on the post. Many thought that this was bullshit to not recognize the winners of each division. However, there have been many matches I've attended that recognize the top 5 shooters in each division, and inevitably someone will bitch and moan that they didn't earn a justified award or juniors didn't get a fair award. So I thought, whatever. So he's got some. He's posting about something they can do. The point the guy's making, teeing up this thread, which got a lot of response, is that they didn't. A lot of response. They did not award the division winner, so they didn't have a trophy that said, hey, you won open division, great job. They didn't do that. And then the thread kind of took off from that, and I think it's fair to say that everybody got on there. There was just another opportunity for guys to say whatever they want to say about awards, for most of them.
Yeah.
Right, like, hey, class awards are gay, we shouldn't do that.
There was a lot of dead horse beating.
Oh my God, it was like 80% that. And I'm thinking, yes. And I've got to tell you guys, I before this became a thread on the forum, I put something up on Facebook like, hey, I'm hearing they didn't award the division winners for this match. What do you guys think about this? And there was a lot of very heated response on Facebook to me, and a few guys got mad about this, called me a whiner, unfriended me on Facebook, and started shit talking me. They didn't so they had a shooting match, and they did not recognize the winners of the match, and I think that's sort of weird. And then there were guys mad at me, so there was a moment during this, I'm not gonna lie, where I'm thinking like I don't want to live on this planet anymore. I don't get this. I don't understand. But after like 150 angry posts on the forum, the match staff contacted me. They've recognized that they made an error on this, and they're going to get the situation corrected. Make the correct trophies for the division winners or whatever, and send them out. So the situation is going to be rectified. I mean, that's a pretty fair summation of what happened, right, guys?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Heron, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. It's hard for me to say. Like, I don't know.
It's not hard to say. Just say it.
Well, just being somebody from the outside and then wondering, like, what the heck was a match director thinking? Like, I mean, that's kind of like my first thought. Is like, are you serious? You know, like, have you not been to a major match before? Have you not directed a match before? Where, I mean, like, how is that like, oops, it's just a minor oversight on our part? Like, no, how do you, I don't know. How in the hell do you, how do you figure, like, division winner isn't a thing? You know, like, well, there should be a high overall. High overall, HOA, what's that? Oh, no, we just gave away trophies based on your class position.
You are beside yourself, sputtering out words, sir.
I'm baffled. I'm baffled by this.
Right. To you, it seems sort of self-evident that if you have a shooting match, you recognize the winner, right?
Exactly.
As
yes.
the winner, not like first M class or whatever the shit. You know, like
correct. There's a high overall in every division. That's the division winner, and that's, I mean, that should, number one, that should be the very first trophy that you give out in every division. Like screw classification trophies and justification ribbons and participation awards. Like, high overall and open, here's your trophy. High overall and limited, here's your trophy, and so on and so forth, all the way down the list. That's, that's how this shit works, right?
Yes.
Sorry,
Hopkins.
Ben. You came to Area 1. You won, top Grandmaster, and you won the match.
I didn't go to Area 1, and I'll be honest.
I'm just saying.
I'll be honest. I'm glad I wasn't there.
First C got a trophy.
Like, I would have been. There's no way I wouldn't have been an asshole about this. There's no way.
I'm a nice guy, and I wouldn't even have to be like.
Not even about the trophy. It's just in principle. It would drive me fucking insane. I take the trophies and they go in a cardboard box in my basement. That's not really the point. It's just like, how in the fuck do you have a match and not recognize the winner? Like, I don't understand this.
Right.
This makes no sense.
Right.
Anyway, Hopkins, what are your thoughts? You glad I wasn't there too?
Probably best that you weren't there.
It would have been entertaining though had you been there.
Oh my God, I don't even know about
there
that.
There have been some posts about that for sure. So, I mean, we all acknowledge this is competition, which basically means, I looked up the word competition, and it says a contest for some prize, honor, or advantage. So the prize being whatever that is, that's usually a plaque at matches. This is the first time.
It's not about the plaque, though, right? I mean, this is a principle, not a plaque.
It's about the recognition, yeah.
Right.
I don't think I've ever heard of this happening before. Have you guys?
No.
Not in USPSA.
Granted, I've got a pretty short career span in this sport, but
well,
even so, I've never witnessed.
Yeah, but we've got at least 10, going back 10 years.
Right.
So, I mean, that's a long time. I don't know. It just blows my mind they wouldn't even think about this.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, to me it seems sort of fundamentally antithetical to what a competition is if you don't recognize the winners, right? But what really blows my mind about this is, I mean, obviously I wasn't there. It was good, right? But what blows my mind about this is we had, I don't know, there had to have been at least 100 dudes sitting there for the awards. I mean, I assume most people had gone home, as is normal. But we had some heavy hitters there. We got the president of the organization. We got like tons of competitors there, and they don't hand out an award for the people that won. And I don't know how nobody got like really pissed off. I don't get it.
Well, I'm kind of thinking like, you know.
That's what really shocks me about this.
Yeah,
and then the motherfucker goes and posts a thread about it. He's like, I'm not trying to bash anyone here, like he's tiptoeing around it. Like, what the fuck? what's happening here? What's happened to the sport?
My biggest curiosity just comes from the fact that, like, when they order all the trophies, like, because you obviously, match director knows ahead of time, like, pretty much who's shooting what division and how many classes, how many people in each class and all that stuff. Like, he's got to have a conversation with people, regarding, like, okay, so on Sunday after Area 1 is over and we do the awards, this is how we're going to dole out awards. You've got to think that somebody had to have been thinking within their right mind to say, like, whoa, hang on, Mr. Match Director, dude. Like, what do you mean you're not recognizing the division winners? Nope, that's not how we're going to do that this year. I mean, somebody literally had to have looked at it and been like, what the fuck? Like, how is this going to work?
Well, I mean, here, tell me what you think of this idea, Tim. There's like 3 tracks where you can get awards in USPSA. Okay? There's overall, like the competition in the division.
Right.
There's class competition, like just against people of roughly equal skill. Mm-hmm. And then there's category competition. So chicks and trannies shoot against each other. And then there's one for little kids. Well, I'm just saying, like, that's the way it works, right? You got 3 tracks you can win. But
yes.
people who are into kind of their own track, right? People who are kind of focused on their thing tend to ignore other people's thing. So, there's plenty of guys who focus on the kind of the overall, like, what's going on, who beat who in the division, like, heads up, right?
Right.
Yeah. They're those guys kind of like, well, fuck classes, those are stupid. Fuck categories, I don't care about that.
Right.
And then there's people in their category that I don't think that is many of them, but there's, let's say the pro shooter chicks, they just care about what's going on in lady, right? We got to Instagram this shit. We want it to look good. Okay. So people tend to ignore what's going on outside of their own track to win an award, right? Which is true of me. I don't give 2 shits about what's going on with classification.
You're absolutely right.
There's been plenty of times back when Tim Myers was A class, bless his heart. When he was A class, he would he would message me and be like, "Who's the A class heat at this match?" And I'd just be like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. Like A class heat at this match. I don't follow like who wins A class at matches. I've got no clue. I don't care about that." You know what I mean? I scroll down about 5 names in any division that I'm looking at, and then I stop paying attention. That's just the way I work, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I have a feeling whatever the match staff is like, we just worry about classification or whatever. Overall, we don't care about that. So fuck those guys, right?
Yeah.
But I have to think that there would have been more of an uproar if they didn't award anything based on class.
Well, yeah. Well, really?
Don't you think?
Oh, man. I don't know. To me, it just seems like I think there'd been less of an uproar based on class.
No, you'd like to think that.
Well,
the reaction to this, I think
I'd like
you're wrong,
to think.
sir.
There'd be way more, I think.
Okay.
Yes, because you've got more people. You've got more people feeling entitled to wood and not getting it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a numbers game, man. They outnumber you.
So what do you say that? Oh, it doesn't say how to award stuff in the rule book, right?
Well, the rule book has some guidelines, right?
They actually don't about overall. They have guidelines for class.
Well, that's probably because the people writing the rule book never crossed their mind that you would not award overall.
I think so. Yeah, I agree with that. I think
never
they should
even crossed
add
them.
in,
They're like, what do you mean? No, this is just how you award all this extra class bullshit that we've added on.
Yeah, it talks about classes and categories.
Yes.
I think they should add in the top 3 and then top 3 or 5 depending on the number of shooters. They already have it for the classes, so why not add it for overall?
Well, yeah, I hate.
Because honestly, sometimes the dude that beats 81 other people but doesn't beat the one guy in first place doesn't get shit. But the third D class.
Well, but then
guy
lots of people who focus on classification, who that's the track they like, they'll say, well, that dude should win first. That dude should win the match or get nothing.
Well, right.
Then the D class dude should win the match or get nothing, right? It's the same argument.
Well, no, because he's in D class, and the rules are different for him.
Well, not only are the rules different, they're also the ones that fund all of the fun for the rest of us, right? That's
I'm not going to get into that because my head will just explode then.
Well, they also pace the target.
That's the argument.
So we appreciate them.
Yeah.
Wait, is that bad to say?
they caddy our gun bags and bring us water and.
Bullshit. Tim didn't do that at all for me.
I don't know. Well, basically, I've decided to describe this sort of thing as anti-competitive, and I think it's bullshit, and I think we need to stamp it out of the sport immediately. So I'm not a huge fan of not awarding people who win the match. It seems, the opposite of the thing that you'd want to do.
Does seem pretty crazy.
It's fucking nuts. And the fact that there were so many people who had a problem with it, but didn't really do anything about it, and so many people who did not.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense
said about it. No, we are way too fucking nice to match directors as a rule. I mean, the message I got from the prize coordinator lady, it was a good conversation with her. Don't get me wrong, but it was like all these people said it was a great match and all this, and I'm just thinking like I've never, not once ever have I been to a match that there wouldn't be people lining up to say what a great match it was. So that to me is pointless to start talking about that. I don't care. Like a bunch of people saying it's a great match is irrelevant to me. We have a very specific beef here that should be corrected. I'm not saying it's not a great match or whatever. I wasn't there. I don't really even give a shit. It's like just award the people for the shit. That's all that I want. That and have it be fair. That's important too.
Yeah.
I would be probably more mad if there had been some like unfairness going on or whatever.
Did you hear how many people got pauper fucked?
I did not hear how many people got pauper fucked. I'm sure I'd be outraged on every single one of their behalves.
I know 2 people.
I know. I'll tell you what. You know what? You know what, Tim? Or you know what, Matt? I've learned something from this incident. It's something I've learned before, but something I've relearned again.
Yeah.
I spoke with the president today, and I asked about the pauper calibration situation. I have dutifully emailed my area director, and it hasn't come up in a meeting yet. Right? Nobody didn't come up in a meeting. But this Area 1 not handing out a prize thing to the people that won. All I had to do was just get pissed off on Facebook, and we got that sorted out in a hurry. So next time I have a complaint and someone tells me to take it up with my area director, I'll tell them to fuck off, and I'll just handle it on Facebook because that's going to get a result a lot faster. That's what I think.
Sounds good.
That's what That's what I've learned from all this. That's what I learned. All right, this dovetails really nicely into the first question I've selected for us tonight. Why does everyone like to complain or bash IDPA? Is it because they can't handle being told they are getting a penalty? I've heard 3 different podcasts in the last couple weeks where everyone wants to hate on IDPA and IDPA shooters. All right, I'm going to answer this really quickly. I'm not entirely serious, so don't get pissed off if you shoot IDPA. What?
Nothing.
We'll explain it fully, but I'll give them the quick answer. The reason everyone hates IDPA and IDPA shooters is because IDPA is an anti-competitive fucking joke. It's a terrible sport, and IDPA shooters are too stupid to figure that out. I'm not being serious. I'm just,
I was gonna say we're gonna turn the sarcasm switch off now.
No, I think the IDPA bashing genuinely confuses people who are in IDPA clubs or in regions that are squared away. That are well run, and they're just like, why does everybody hate IDPA? It seems fine here, right? And they just happen to be in a place where it's well run. Mm-hmm. But as a national organization, it's fucked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My feeling on this is IDPA is anti-competitive, just in terms of culture and rules. A good example is like not allowing scoring overlays, not allowing fault lines, which apparently they're fixing now. Did you guys hear this?
I haven't heard that.
I haven't heard fault lines yet.
I've heard a rumor that they're not called fault lines, obviously. I think they're going to be called like cover lines or cover something. I've heard a rumor they're fixing this.
That's been the issue with me, is why I've been turned off with the sport, though. Is just way too much.
The competitive
equity is not there.
Right, competitive equity's not there. It's anti-competitor. And USPSA guys, the top guys I know, and I know a lot of them, every one of them, to a person, except for Vogel, but every one of them who's like quit going to IDPA matches, I mean, they'll have some story. I mean, they'll have a lot of stories, but then there's one story where they're like, this was it. This was the straw that broke it for me, and I'm done. Because of this one thing, and they've all got a story. And they're not. It's not just about the top guys, of course. I mean, the other people don't go either because it's sort of anti-competitive. You don't know what the rules are going to be in certain scenarios. There's one dude I just talked to that went and shot an IDPA match at a club he did not frequent. I don't think he'd ever been there before. He went and shot a match there. He was doing well. He was going fast, and they rolled up to him after 3 stages and gave him a procedural penalty for each of the preceding 3 stages because he'd moved so fast they couldn't see if his finger was in the trigger guard or not, so they gave him a procedural for every one.
That's not in the rule book, though.
Does that fucking matter?
Subjective scoring, man. It has no place. Dude, if I wanted subjective scoring, I'd take up fucking figure skating or some bullshit like that. Not shooting guns where there's supposed to be scores and a time, so why isn't it just scores and fucking time? Hard data, hard numbers. Hard fast rules. That's how a competition is supposed to be run.
And if I'm being entirely honest, you look at IDPA, like let's say if I watch IDPA on TV and I don't know anything, I'd say that's basically the same thing as USPSA. It looks basically the same.
Absolutely.
I started shooting IDPA first, and I'm like, to me, there's no reason that I shouldn't be torn between going to different, either an IDPA match over here or a USPSA match over there. There's no reason I shouldn't be torn, because they're basically the same sorts of thing, right?
I would agree with that, yeah.
Yes, I should be torn between shooting IDPA and USPSA, but IDPA is so fucked up, and you just know that you're going to get fucked. Like you can't go. You can't do it. If you're serious about shooting really well, and it's like, I think frequent listeners know how angry I get, especially when it comes to inequity. I could not handle it. So yeah, I guess you could say, no, I cannot handle being told I'm getting a penalty.
All right, here's the question then.
I can't handle it.
One person asking a big time shooter, because like I said, like you said, you've known quite a few, and they all have stories. Mm-hmm. I want to know, what is your story? What is one big thing that for you was like, yeah, fuck IDPA, I'm not shooting this shit anymore, not doing it.
It was shooting in his home state.
It was a blind stage. For me, it was a blind stage at a major match where you don't get a walkthrough, and it was totally unfair. It was totally stupid. The match staff is not wanting to hear it, and it was just like, you know what? This is fucked. This is fucked. I mean, if I want to compete, like, this isn't the thing to do it. Like, I don't understand, Tim, motherfuckers like not getting it when you train, day in, day out. Like, all you do is train for shooting matches. Mm-hmm. You put in all your extra cash, whatever you got. You put everything into shooting matches and getting better. And then you roll into a match and motherfuckers like, why are you taking this so seriously? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is it, man. This is what do we do? I mean, I drove 12 hours here to this match. Yeah, bitch, I'm taking it seriously. Like, what are you talking about? So yes, that was what pushed me out. In my case, it was a blind stage. And motherfuckers trying to call penalties on me just because they wanted me to get penalties. Yeah. Like that sort of thing. It was like, that's it. For me, it didn't, like, I have a way lower threshold than most people. Way lower. Like, if it hadn't have been that match, it'd have been the next one, I promise you.
And it was almost the one before, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was like, it does not take much.
Matt, have you shot IDPA before?
He shot it.
I shot a couple locals in one state match.
What happened? Why don't you shoot it anymore?
It felt unsafe and the subjectivity. No, seriously. When they say you're not allowed to stand up to draw the gun out of the holster, like
what?
You're on a porta potty chair seat thing as a stage.
Like you had to draw it?
Oh,
seated.
with the gun like pointing at your leg, you're like, fuck.
Yeah,
I don't like this.
yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
The same people that would get you then for sweeping your hand if you holstered the gun after you unloaded and showed clear, right? It's the same ROs or the same SOs that want to look for
And it was
look
just,
for issues
and
like
just
that,
the
but then
fact
it's
of,
okay.
like, I think maybe master, I don't know, early GM or whatever. And then the attitude was like, so it's my first state match. The dude there, the one dude that beat me, he's like, this is why I like IDPA more, because it's more fair.
Wow.
And it's more even for regular shooters or whatever. It was like that comment was like, yeah, fuck this, I'm never going to shoot one of these again.
Yeah, it's more fair, Hopkins. Right?
I don't
Sure.
know if Matt and I are like spoiled or not. I wouldn't call it spoiled or whatnot. But like the Kansas City area doesn't really have a big contingent of IDPA clubs.
Hey, what do you know?
So
We had to run
does-
them out of USPSA.
That shit doesn't exist around me either.
it doesn't.
Like IDPA on a national level, IDPA is pretty well fucked at this point. Like I don't know what they're reporting for membership numbers, but just like they've lost a lot of regions that they had.
Mm-hmm.
It's
A
pretty
lot of the-
spotty is what I get from it.
It's
Rather
very
than
spotty. It's
everywhere in
fucked.
the country.
Good. So, yeah, I mean that's the issue, and the guy sending the questions like, yeah, he understands on some level it's about penalties. Like what I wouldn't like is rolling in there and it's like, I can go there and make a good faith attempt to follow the rules, do what it is you guys want me to do, and just shoot the stage and let the shooting determine it. But there's still going to be guys putting penalties on me or
Always.
looking to. All right, that's kind of the issue.
It becomes more of a popularity contest. Are you well liked by the staff, or
I don't.
are
I
you
mean, the
unliked by the
IDPA
staff?
staff listening to this would object to that, and I think rightly so. They'd be like, "I don't do that." You know what I mean? They're like, "I don't do that," and they probably don't. But
Right.
it doesn't matter really. The appearance is kind of there, and it's kind of like,
Another thing is, you can go shoot a USPSA match in KC, in Wisconsin, in Florida, in wherever. It's going
yes,
to be the same. You do that with IDPA, you are going to have 5 different fucking matches, 5 different sets of rules, 5 different everything.
yes,
Yes.
it is anti-competitive for sure.
Absolutely right.
And really, when it becomes that way, like when all the heat is kind of migrates into USPSA, then you got to shoot with the heat if you're a competitor, because that's what people want to do.
Mhm.
So that's kind of why people hate on IDPA, is because it is stupid and irrelevant. Honestly. Is that bad?
Oh, it's good. I like it.
Jesus. I feel like that was too much.
Honesty, no.
Well, no,
If anybody's really going to speak on it, though, Ben, that's it. I mean, it should be.
no,
you
and
of
I
the
say
three of
this,
us.
I say this as a person who is wired to like IDPA.
Mhm.
Like on the surface of it, I like it, but it's kind of like you can't fix it because you look at, we read the letter a couple weeks ago. Remember of that, like IDPA HQ banning somebody, and you're just like, oh, what are you guys thinking?
Oh, yeah.
Like just the tenor of that thing was, you're just like, what the fuck is happening here? And you know, that's IDPA for you. So that's why people hate on it. That's why people bash it. And I don't know. There's plenty of IDPA shooters that are good guys, but again, the truth of that is the guys that are really serious about competing with other people tend to find their way into USPSA anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of where it's at. I mean, it's culture, it's attitude. Like, yeah, I mean, come here, come to USPSA, get good, go as fast as you want to go. You know, it'll be fun. All right, let's read one off here. Another question. I'm relatively new to the sport, and as such, have questions about practicing drills, mainly dry-fire drills. My main question has to do with errors and mistakes. If I make a stupid mistake at the beginning of the drill, is it best to finish the drill or start over and do it right? I feel it's smart to learn to recover from mistakes, but wonder about other mistakes. My example would be that about 95% of the time I draw well and get a good sight picture on target and pull the trigger. That other 5% I get retarded and pull the trigger before getting a sight picture. Say I'm doing a draw, fire 2, reload, fire 2, reload, fire 2 drill. if I mess up the sight picture on the first shot, do I just finish the drill or just call bullshit and start over and do it right? Hopkins, what do you think?
Man. I say continue the drill.
It's not that complicated, bro.
I say continue the drill. Because at a match you might have that happen, and it's just good practice. I'd say if you're doing it a lot, then you maybe need to reevaluate like what you're looking at or thinking about during the drill, you know. But 95% is a pretty good average, I think, right?
Doing anything right 95% of the time? Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'd take that.
Tim?
Finish the drill. I agree with Matt on that. The main thing, though, is being able to identify when you do something really retarded, like I'm pulling the trigger before I got a sight picture, and being able to know that you did that. I mean, the thing is, I don't think I would be like, oh shit, I got on the trigger before I even had the gun pointed towards the target, and I, pulled the trigger. Okay, so I got to stop and reset everything and do it all over again. I mean, you can kind of learn from that as being like, well, shit, I ripped one off too early. Okay, I still need to call 2 shots and then reload, call 2 shots, reload, call 2 shots, whatever the drill calls for. So as far as like doing just a standard reload thing, like in the beginning of this question, you talked about like screwing up a reload and feeling it's smart to learn to recover from the mistake. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, I don't want to say it ingrains like a training scar where you're just going to stop in the middle of a match and do that, but at the same time, it's kind of one of those things where, yeah, if you miss the reload and you drop that magazine, like, you got to know to get to the next magazine as fast as possible and get one in the gun so you can continue the stage. I mean, the RO's not going to say, okay, stop, let's reset and start this over again. I mean, there's no mulligans on it, so, I would say learn from it. If it's something that you continually do all the time, then, yeah, put the timer down. I mean, this is something we've talked about 100 times before. That's something you're trying to race a timer on, then put the timer away and just focus on the damn technique. Get it right, and then reintroduce the timer later.
Yeah. I think when you make a mistake, you should go faster.
That sounds right.
Jesus, you guys.
No.
Yeah, that's probably the last thing you should do. Yeah, obviously best practice is to learn to recover from your mistakes. I mean, like I've said this before, it's not if you make a mistake, it's when. You got to be prepared for that. It's going to happen.
Yep.
So you want to train yourself to be calm even during your mistakes and your disasters.
I think Ken made a good point is, like, try to figure out why you're doing it. If it happens a lot, If it happens one time out of 50 drills, it's not horrible. It's actually not even that bad, really.
It actually sounds pretty good to me.
I think it's just one of those things where you really have to identify it.
Yeah, identify it and work on that.
Right. I mean, if you're snapping the trigger and then you're just lying to yourself, saying, "Oh man, yeah, I'm calling 2 A's on that," and somebody like literally could be third person, kind of standing and watching you do it, like, dude, no, you're yanking the trigger before you even have the gun pointed 5 feet out in front of you. But I mean, if the guy can identify the problem himself and be like, I probably got on the trigger a little too early before I was able to call 2 shots, even in Dryfire, at least he's able to identify it. The thing is to be able to learn from identifying it and fix it. And if he just continues doing the same thing, then yeah, that's where bad shit happens quick. Right?
Well, let's say yes.
Okay.
I'm a little distracted. My fucking spring is booked, dude.
It's like summer now, dude. It's not spring.
Yeah, spring.
No, my spring in 2017, bitch.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I guess got an email about my calendar. I'm like, I don't even know if I can do this, dude.
Do you know when the World Shoot is to plan around that?
Yeah, it starts late August.
That's early then, right?
Yeah, they're going to do production nationals after.
Wow.
An announcement?
No, it'll probably be announced by the time people hear this, though. So.
Okay. For 2017 already?
Yeah, you plan that shit ahead, man.
Damn, Mike's not been doing nothing though, right?
With what?
I don't know, just in general.
I don't know. Nothing fun to bitch about on the internet. doing all that presidential administrative stuff.
That sucks, dude. That's boring.
Dude, it's so lame. Holy shit. I mean, I want to talk about trannies. I want to talk about awards, like stuff we can really sink our teeth into. You know what I mean?
Things with merit, right? Yeah.
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 Things that people actually get riled up about. That stuff's fun. What?
Drama. God damn it, we need drama.
No, that's what we do. We need it. I'm not gonna lie.
What else are we gonna talk about?
I don't know. Another great show, guys. Let's start another one. Let's get Yantola on here for the next one. It's gonna be amazing.
Let's do it.
We gotta
Right.
answer real questions then. That's boring.
Answering questions is boring.
Did he talk about it?
We are providing a service to the listening audience.
Oh my God. All right, listeners, if you have a question you want us to, bullshit around, go to bensteger.com and email that shit to me, and we'll get on it. Maybe. I mean, probably so.